Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's the lady most of you guys should probably know as the person who railed against public radio and public television like PBS, who has said that the fires in California were started by Jewish space lasers and has generally been one of the most toxic and nasty people to engage in American politics in quite some time. And despite that, or maybe because of that, she wins every election she participates in a landslide. She has solidified her position in her district. Very much like AOC, like the dark AOC, the reverse AOC. And MTG is actually, according to many progressives and many Democrats, started to turn over a new leaf as of late. And I don't buy it. Granted, actions speak louder than words, and if she proves herself over the coming months, then perhaps I'll be more open to the possibility, but fundamentally, all that she's been doing lately is criticizing Trump in a time where it has never been it has never been smarter to criticize Trump. A lot of lefties are doomer and don't recognize that we're actually in the beginning of the good times, that things are actively starting to turn more in the left's favor against Trump and the Republicans, and that doomer mindset means that when they see Marjorie Taylor Greene turning against Trump, they assume it must be because she's having a personal change and not because she is one of the many Republicans trying to get out in front of the inevitable, spectacular downfall of Donald Trump. And a lot of it is because of the Epstein files, too. Keep in mind, Republicans have a lot more insight than we do publicly in how hard he is implicated in those files and how bad it'll be for any Republican who helps him in covering them up if they ever do see the light of day. And so this is not Marjorie Taylor Greene, at least I don't think this is Marjorie Taylor Greene having a personal, evolution or a personal journey. I think this is Marjorie Taylor Greene jumping on the bandwagon with many other Republicans to escape the collapsing building that is the Trump dynasty. But I could be wrong. Who knows? In fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene ended up going on this CNN panel to talk to one of these reporters about her recent switch up in politics, and everyone's been having discourse about whether or not she's genuine here. And I thought we'd go ahead and give it a watch ourselves and come to our own conclusion. So if you guys are down for that and you end up enjoying this video, leave a like and a comment and a hype to boost this video and support it in the algorithm. It really does mean a lot and helps a ton. I appreciate it immensely. And of course, if you want to see more from me, don't forget to subscribe. But with all that said, and no more dilly-dallying, let's hop right into it.
It's the political breakup heard round the world. President Trump severing ties with at least one of his closest allies, declaring, "I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene," even calling for primary challenges against his one-time loyalists and attacking her as
I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Wacky Marjorie, a ranting lunatic. If the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. The Rhino.
quote, wacky, a ranting lunatic, a rhino, and a traitor. This is days before the House of Representatives is set to vote on releasing the Epstein files. It's a stunning breach between two MAGA leaders, one of whom is here with me now exclusively for her first interview since the president cut ties. Republican.
Now, sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Epstein files. It's a stunning breach between two MAGA leaders, one of whom is here with me now exclusively for her first interview since the president cut ties. Republican challengers, you were.
I had to do the smiling Titan bit.
Well, Dana, thank you for having me on, and that is true. I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country.
Yeah, you also ate Aaron's mom.
Spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected, and I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration, and I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. I
don't even know if this is the kind of rhetoric anybody wants to hear right now. This feels so Democrat-y, you know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people are open to the idea that maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene has changed. But it's very hollow sentiment, you know? I will believe her that she actually means this if she more or less becomes an unofficial blue seat in Congress, if she just jumps with the Democrats on everything and doesn't vote with the Republicans, but still is a Republican, I will be happy. I will believe her in that case, but actions speak louder than words.
Hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And
Marjorie Traitor Greene.
those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And
you know shit's bad when Marjorie Taylor Greene is making sense.
I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my...
Oh, good point. Maybe she caught the woke mind virus. It's very possible it is infectious. It's very possible that Marjorie Taylor Greene is just the newest, most recent victim of the woke mind virus. We can only hope, right?
My small part to get the files released.
You said on X yesterday, quote, "It's astonishing really how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, and that it really makes you wonder what is in those files." Are you suggesting there's something in the Epstein files that President Trump does not want Americans to see?
Well, I think that's the part that has so many people...
Yeah. In fact, the DOJ has confirmed there is a lot of stuff in the Epstein files that Donald Trump does not want us to see.
People confused is that the women themselves that I have talked to have over and over again said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. Quite a few of them even told me they voted for him. And those are the women I would like to see in the Oval Office with support. I would like to see all of the women there with support. I have no idea what's in the files. I can't even guess, but that is the questions everyone is asking, is why fight this so hard?
Well, before this blow up, you sort of alluded to this just now. You said you were confident the president wouldn't be implicated. Are you still confident of that?
I'm listening to the women. Those are the ones that are saying that he did nothing wrong. Virginia Giuffre even...
See, like, she's still kind of sweeping for him a little bit. She's still kind of sweeping him for him a little bit. Because none of the women who are public are willing to call out Donald Trump as being one of the people responsible for this. The women who have come forward did so anonymously and were still harassed into silence and were forced to drop the cases against Trump. So she's still playing that whole, well, none of the public accusers have said that Trump was one of the abusers. And yet we've got a ton of evidence from the files and leaked emails that Donald Trump, at the very least, at best for him, he knew and said nothing. Like, we already know that Donald Trump knew about the girls. He knew what Epstein was up to, and he said nothing for decades.
And said under oath that Donald Trump did nothing wrong, and she wrote it in her book. So I'm continuing to listening to the women, and I think their voices should be the loudest.
The president said the reason that you have been critical of him is not necessarily Epstein, but because he pushed you not to run for the Senate or for governor in Georgia. How and when did he do that?
Well, that is absolutely not true. Actually, I never had a conversation at all with the president about running for Senate or running for Georgia. And those were decisions I came to on my own, that I don't want to have anything to do with the Senate. I think the past 2 months of the government shutdown should have shown America exactly why I would never want to be there. I think it's a very broken institution that serves the uniparty and doesn't serve the American people and how they vote. And I decided that I didn't want to run for governor this cycle either. I very much want to do the job that I'm in. Everyone else says I'm running for something, but all I want to do is serve Georgia's 14th district. And
I don't know, guys. This feels like lampshading that she is just setting up for her own advancing political career. I think she wants to level up to senator. I think she wants to be a Georgia senator. She would not be the most racist Georgia senator either.
I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
So he said it pretty explicitly. Are you saying he's lying, or did he at least get that message to somebody on your political team instead?
I'm not sure. But I don't. That is untrue. What he said. I don't know if he's being fed wrong information. I honestly have no idea in that area, but it is absolutely factual.
She looks like she eats human flesh. I'm telling you, those are not normal teeth. She has the teeth of, like, a sheep's head fish. You know what I mean? Like, she has the teeth of a fish that has evolved to eat oysters. I used to eat a lot of these fish I'd catch in Florida. You catch them with oysters. You rip an oyster off the side of a dock, and you smash it open with a hammer, and you put a hook through the oyster meat, and you cast it off a dock, and you'll catch one of these. And her teeth remind me a lot of a sheep's head teeth. Yeah, pretty cool fish, huh? Pretty cool fish.
Actually not true, nor have I called him, and White House logs would prove that. His own cell phone records would prove it. I have not been calling the president, but I did post messages that I had sent to him, and that was to, like, protect, get involved. This is important. The American people want the Epstein files released. And, I've stood with the president. I have disagreed with him at times, Dana, and I'm allowed to do that. I think that's the most important thing we can do as Americans. And I'm urging my party. I've been putting massive pressure on my party and our speaker to pass the agenda that the American people vote for. That's the agenda that I fought for. Those are the campaign promises I made. And I can disagree with the president at times, particularly.
I mean, she knows that Donald Trump's approval ratings are just absolutely plummeting. They're nosediving, even. I think this is her bailing off the Trump train before it goes over the cliff. And many other Republicans are doing the same. Like, this is not her having a realization that she was wrong. This is her realizing the Trump train is doomed and getting off it. And many Republicans are doing so as well. She's just the loudest and proudest Trumper who's now flipped. And so everyone's paying attention the most to her.
This past Monday, on the Marines' 250th anniversary, when he honored the new Syrian president, who is an Al-Qaeda terrorist and was wanted by our government for years with a $10 million bounty up until...
That's probably true. Donald Trump is so buddy-buddy with many of the #1 funders of everything from the Taliban to ISIS and, of course, good old Al-Qaeda.
March of this year.
I mean, Trump's literally having the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia he's literally, I'm going to do a whole segment about it. He's having the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia come, blow him at the White House soon. Or no, he's going to blow the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia at the White House in, the coming days. So yeah, I believe that.
I very much am against that. I think that was very hurtful to the great men and women who served over in the Middle East and were sent there, and many of them that were killed and injured and live with PTSD to this day from fighting Al-Qaeda. So there's things I disagree with, and I'm allowed to do so.
Well, you mentioned the Syrian leader at the White House. You've also been critical of President Trump over foreign entanglements, H-1B visas. Now he's moving military assets towards Venezuela. I do want to play something that he said this week.
Don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else.
You plagiarizing fuck. You plagiarizing motherfucker. You stole Make America Great Again. Not even the slogan was original, dog. Come on.
And MAGA wants to see our country thrive.
Do you agree? Do you think he represents the MAGA movement as he once did?
Well, what the American people voted for with MAGA was to put the American people first and stop sending foreign aid and stop being involved in foreign wars. They very much deserve...
Well, now we're Saudi Arabia and Qatar first.
...to be put first. Cost of living is far too high. Health insurance is completely out of control. And those are two issues I've been very vocal on for months and months now, long before Republicans were shocked when those big losses came on this past Tuesday's election. So I think that the American people deserve to be put first. That's what Make America Great Again.
God, crazy to think it's only been a week since Mamdani just went and dominated, man. It's only been a week. It feels like it's been longer.
Meant to me, and I think that President
2 weeks.
Trump
Okay. All right. Then she's the one who misspoke, saying last Tuesday. Because I was about to say, really, a week ago? Damn. Yeah, it is Tuesday. I guess it could have been a week ago. Yeah, it makes sense. It's been 2. Yeah, like it felt like it's been more like 2 weeks. Okay.
Do that if he refocuses his effort. And I think that's what I want to see. I think that's what the country wants to see. Even if he's attacking me, I do want him to be successful for the American people.
So sounds like you're saying that he is not representing the MAGA movement that he started right now.
I can say that promoting H-1B visas to replace American jobs, bringing in 600,000 Chinese students to replace American students' opportunities in American colleges and universities, those are not America First positions. And continuing to really travel all over the world doesn't help Americans back at home. I really, and I said this to him, and I will say it out loud, I would love to see Air Force One be parked and stay home, and there be nothing but a constant focus in the White House on a domestic agenda that helps the American.
She is really good at playing not only to her own base, but to Trump's base. This is effective rhetoric. A lot of what got Trump into office was this America First rhetoric, that America's entire leadership needs to be entirely inward focused on making America better, and that Trump taking Air Force One to take trips overseas is not America First. And that is the kind of criticism that Trump supporters will take. They'll actually resonate. Is, hey, Trump's not being very America First right now, is he?
People once and for all.
Congresswoman, you posted on X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your safety are completely unacceptable. But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new. And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
Dana, I think that's fair criticism. And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics.
She took part in the toxic gossip train.
It's very bad for our country. And it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences. Yeah. And we need to be able...
I mean, our interests are typically in line, but I mean, I don't know if ideologically we have that much in common these days, but yeah, I mean, that's a pretty... I guess I can't. That's not that hot of a take, I suppose.
To respect each other with our disagreements.
So just to put a button on this, you
performative.
Regret the things that you have said and posted in the past. The Facebook post that was taken down of you in 2020 holding a gun alongside the squad, encouraging people to go on the offense against the socialists, liking a tweet.
Yeah, she has done some pretty fucked shit. Like, I think a lot of the people who are defending her lately might just have a shortish kind of memory.
Of somebody calling for the execution of Nancy Pelosi and former President Obama, just examples?
Well, Dana, as you know, and many people know, I addressed that back in 2021. And of course, I never want to cause any harm or anything bad for anyone. So that was addressed back then, and I very much stand by my words I said then, and I stand by my words today. I think America needs to come together and end all the toxic, dangerous rhetoric and divide. And I'm leading the way with my own.
We gotta stop the toxic gossip train, guys. We need to. The toxic gossip train must end.
An example, and I hope that President Trump can do the same.
Okay, so on that, I do want to ask you about something you posted just yesterday on X. You questioned who and what country is putting so much pressure on Trump to keep the Epstein files hidden. And you included a picture about donations from pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC. What are you trying to say there?
Well, I think it's the question that many Americans are asking, especially when we saw information recently come out in these emails that the Oversight Committee that I serve on has released. And we saw Jeffrey Epstein with ties to Ehud Barak. We saw him making business deals with them, also business deals that involved the Israeli government, and seems to have led into their intel agencies. And I think the right question is to ask is, was Jeffrey Epstein working for Israel? And I'm proud to say I don't take money from AIPAC. I don't take money from any special group of people. I'm just representing my district and the American people. And so that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, for those that don't know, and I like to clarify this because it's surprising how few people know about it. For a long time, I'd mention AIPAC and people wouldn't even know about it. And because I was very frequently during the election bringing up this one story I did a segment on and covered about how AIPAC was going to be dedicating, it was something like $400 million to trying to run ads against this squad to get all of the squad members ousted from office in the last election. And I guess some of them succeeded. But yeah, AIPAC, I spoke a lot about it. A lot of people assume, because it's the American Israel public or like interest action group, right? It's like, so it's a political action group that serves Israeli interests. So it must be Israeli money going into America to influence American politics. And that's not quite what it is. It's actually like a shitload of wealthy and, you know, plenty of non-wealthy donors who are all like hardcore pro-Israel Zionists all donate to AIPAC, which is the PAC that is meant to leverage support for candidates to make those candidates want to support Israel so they can keep the funds flowing. And so, yes, it is absolutely politicians being influenced by pro-Israel money, but it's not money from Israel. It's not foreign influence on our elections, it's domestic influence in favor of foreign powers in our elections. Someone fact-check this. Did she really take zero AIPAC money? I actually don't know. Someone should fact-check that in chat. I'd appreciate it.
I just want to be clear. Are you saying Israel is pushing the President of the United States to cover up the Epstein files? And what evidence do you have that that is the case?
I simply just asked out loud, is there a foreign government? It could be any foreign government, but is a foreign government pushing to keep this covered up? Because people just don't understand the big fight against.
Well, you had AIPAC up there. It was pretty clear which government you were talking about.
That I'm questioning that government in particular and questioning any other foreign government.
Okay, when you're talking about lowering the rhetoric, which is important for everybody to hear from you.
Listen, she's not too happy that Trump is buddying up with the folks with all those space lasers now, okay? She called out the Jewish space lasers, and now Trump's buddying up with Israel. It makes sense why she's not thrilled.
You and all of our elected officials. But there is some concern, a lot of concern among Republicans about the rise of anti-Semitic hard-right figures in your movement, especially after Tucker Carlson hosted white nationalist Nick Fuentes on his podcast. Didn't question.
But stop calling him white nationalist. He's a neo-Nazi, man. Like, come on. Like, why even bother sugarcoating it? He is as Nazi as Nazis come.
Fuentes about his vile language or views. You did speak at a conference hosted by Fuentes back in 2022. You were criticized and you said then that you didn't know about his views. Well, Fuentes talked to Carlson about that in the interview. Listen to what he said.
Well, again, with Marjorie, I was a friend of hers, and she spoke at my conference, and then the day after, she pretended like she didn't know me. She pretended like she didn't know me and lied and said I had no idea the conference I was speaking at. She knew exactly what it was.
What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I defend every single person's free speech rights. I think that's incredibly important. So I don't apologize for that, and I don't believe in canceling people. And I think it's important for people like Tucker Carlson and yourself to interview everyone. I don't believe in trying to cancel someone by refusing to interview them and question them. And I did speak at his conference back in 2022. However, I don't know Nick Fuentes. He's someone I've never exchanged text messages with or phone calls, but I did speak at
That was very specific.
his conference. That was the first time I had met him that day, and that was it. But I did watch the interview. I watched the full interview with Tucker, and I admire him for interviewing many people as well as exposing a lot of powerful information.
I hear what
that
you're
he
saying.
does on his show.
I hear what you're saying about free speech. I mean,
Yeah, guys, are you really buying this? Come on, like she's clearly trying to rebrand her image. She's doing like she's so defensive here, you can tell. And she's not even denouncing Trump. Like, she's still low-key sweeping for him.
count me as guilty as a proponent of free speech. There's free speech, and then there is hate speech. And this is a man invited on a really prominent conservative show.
Ooh, that I can. If she is not burning to try and like retort to that statement that there's free speech and hate speech, I would be surprised.
Who said even during that interview he had a problem with, quote, organized Jewry, and he wasn't challenged on it. In the past, he has denied the Holocaust, called Adolf Hitler effing cool, talked about the fact that he thought...
Don't even try listing it, because the implications when you list is that, like, you're leaving out only a few other examples. With Nick Fuentes, you'd be better off listing the things that are Nazi-like he hasn't done. Like you gotta do, like, denied the Holocaust over 1,000 times in 4 years, like that kind of, like that's the way you have to list his feats, we'll call them, if you want to give an accurate breakdown of what he's like. Because like when you list these things, you're like, okay, so he did each of these things once or twice. That, you know, maybe it's a fluke.
Jim Crow was just fine, and on and on. So again, there's free speech, and then there's just hateful language and sentiments.
Well, Dana, again, I told you on this interview that I'm committed to ending the toxic politics, and I think I don't want to have anything to do with it. You should have Nick Fuentes on your show, and you could ask him questions about that. I myself am not anti-Semitic.
Dude, Nick Fuentes on CNN. Oh, man. Imagine if he breaks containment that bad.
I have never criticized the Jewish people or said anything about them in particular. I am critical of the government of Israel, and I can criticize any government I want to in the entire world as well as our own. And a lot of the times I am criticizing our own government for failing the American people. And I think that needs to be the focus, and that's the most important thing people care about, is being able to afford groceries, housing, health insurance, and having a good quality of life.
Yeah, and
Trump's failing on those fronts right now, and MTG knows it.
Hear you saying you're not anti-Semitic, and you've said it before, and you know some of the posts that you have put up, which you have apologized for, certainly have tropes in them that have been used historically against Jews. But I do want to end this conversation with a question to you, and that is, do you see a situation where you and President Trump can make up? And if not, do you think you have a future in the GOP?
Well, I certainly hope that we can make up. And there's, you know, again, I can only speak for myself. I'm a Christian, and one of the most important parts of our faith is forgiveness, and that's something I'm committed to. That's why I can easily come on your show that is watched all over the world, and I can say things I'm sorry for, and I can try to set an example of how I think we should move forward as Americans. And so, of course, on my end, I believe in that, and I certainly hope to see that happen.
I don't buy it. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I just don't buy it. I think she's full of shit. I did a segment recently, and I'll explain why. I did a segment recently about how the DOJ, controlled by Republicans, by the way, came out to tell a bunch of House Republicans that more had been found in their deep dive into the Epstein files, and that Trump is implicated far more in them than previously thought. I believe the exact wording is, the Epstein files are worse for Trump than previously thought. And behind the scenes, for weeks now, Republicans have been flipping to work more with Democrats against Trump to release the Epstein files, because they recognize they're going to see the light of day eventually, and it will be career-ending for every Republican who helped Trump cover them up. The switch-up has been across the party. So the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene is joining in with those folks in turning against Trump just doesn't really surprise me that much, to be honest. Like, it kind of makes sense, you know? She's just one of many Republicans jumping off the Trump train and trying to escape the sinking ship. Makes complete sense to me. I don't think she's actually changed at all. In fact, she's still doing the America First stuff and defending Nick Fuentes. Do not buy it. Actions speak louder than words. We'll see where she stands in a few months, and then maybe I'll amend my position. But for now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is no ally. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, a comment, and a hype if you want to boost it in the algorithm. It really does help a lot. Me and the channel appreciate it a ton. And subscribe if you want to see more from me. On top of that, maybe comment down below, chickpea, if you watched this far. To let me know you saw all the way to the end, comment chickpea down below. I appreciate it. With that said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.